Governor Anoatubby, would you explain to me what tribal sovereignty is, and just really tell it like you would to someone in the general public?
Well, I guess we could start really with the word sovereignty. Sovereignty in general. And we look at the sovereignty of our own nation, the United States of America. And then we have state sovereignty. And that means, I think in the simplest terms, is you have authority over a certain area. You have the responsibility to make decisions for yourself and the ability to make decisions for yourself and the people that you represent. Well, tribal sovereignty actually predates the United States of America. And when the officials, and in fact, when other countries would come to the territory or the continent, they dealt with the Indian tribes as separate nations, as equals to France or Spain or to whatever nation that was coming into this continent. And so that carried forward into the relationship that the United States of America had with the Indian nations. In the time from the actual establishment of the United States up until the late 1800s, the United States had treaties with each of the Indian tribes. So that's how they dealt with the tribes. In fact, in the United States Constitution, in the Commerce Clause, it mentions tribes. And it says that the United States shall regulate commerce between the foreign nations, between the various states, and Indian tribes. So we're actually mentioned in the United States Constitution and treated as a sovereign within that Constitution. Well, as time has gone by, tribes, the sovereignty or the level of sovereignty that we have has changed. There have been federal laws that have changed the way that the United States deals with tribes. And so that sovereignty has changed. But today, we have a constitution, the Chickasaw Nation does, that actually mentions the establishment of that Constitution based in a treaty with the United States of America. And so we enjoy the sovereignty that we had prior to the various countries coming to this continent to the degree that it has not been diminished by federal law. And so, and that's pretty difficult for people sometimes to understand. And actually, some people don't agree that it should be that way. But as it stands today, that's how we operate. We have the responsibility under our Constitution to look out for the best interest of our people. We have a responsibility to pass rules and regulations and law having to do with the function of tribal government and the framework for our people to work within. We have tribal courts that deal with issues that may involve different branches, maybe two branches of the tribal government, the executive and legislative, or constitutional issues, or laws that are passed by our tribal legislature, or individual issues that have been actually enacted by our tribal legislature. So we have a government system, and we enjoy that government system as a result of the sovereignty that we have, a sovereignty that oftentimes people think of as you have something that's granted to you by the U.S., but it's just the opposite. We've had it from time immemorial to the degree that it hasn't been diminished. And so it actually, many folks, if they would understand it and work with us on it, it could be of great benefit to not only the Chickasaw Nation or the other tribes,